Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item D on the agenda is approval of minutes from August 15th, 2022, regular council meeting minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. Okay, item E, citizen communication. If there's someone in the audience that would like to address council on something that is not on the agenda, please step up to the podium. Introduce yourself, please, and let us know what you have for us.
All right, so 5 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
I feel like I have a pulpit here and everything. So, you want me to be on?
No, you're fine.
You're good.
Okay.
And please introduce yourself just for the record. We know who you are.
My name's Chip Bullock. I'm the lead pastor at Napoleon Church of the Nazarene for 5 more days. But this is my 6th year to come before you, as we started in 2017, our annual 5K NAP-NAZ run for the city. It's been a joint effort with Parks and Rec, and it was our attempt to be a good community partner, to also show that as an organization that is built on professions of love, that we show love in far more than word, but also in deed. And so it's been really cool over 5 years to be able to do this event in the city that anybody could sign up for, a healthy event, a fun event, kind of become a family event, but then also take all the proceeds, any net profits that we got from it, and give 100% to the city. And so it's been a good deal. So I'm just coming to present the check from this summer's 5K. So if 5 years, it was just shy of 25,000, so it's been about almost 5 a year. This year, on our 6th year, I have a check for $7,460.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're pumped about that. And Tony and I have been in communication about that, talking about a Swearingen Park thing for next year. And so we're just super pumped to be able to continue to do this. I brought a couple people with me tonight because, as I alluded to at the beginning, and some of you have understood, I will be moving. I've taken a position in Lima, Ohio, and so, yeah, that doesn't mean this is ending. And so I wanted to make sure and communicate that. For one, I just wanted to say, Cassie Flooring, Cassie, if you'd stand. Cassie's been the new coordinator of this. And honestly, any applause that goes should go to her. She's done awesome. I felt like I birthed it, and then I gave it away for adoption. And it's far better off in her hands than it was in mine, as evidenced by, again, the growing nature of the whole thing. And so many, I think it was 30 to 40 businesses in some way participated and helped out this year. So there's been community buy-in. They see what we're trying to do. And the hope is that this is the 6th annual. I'm coming back for the 7th annual. I'm only 45 minutes down the road. The 10th annual, the 15th annual, the 20th. And there can be a legacy piece to this that over the years we'll be able to look back and say, hey, $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 that we tangibly gave to Parks and Rec. Also wanted to make sure you're aware that Ben Hartford, as a staff pastor, is in the interim right now as the pastor of the church. He's 100% in on this also. And so if you have any questions or want to know what we're doing with this is still a full go, and Ben would be the guy to talk to. So who am I giving the money to? Kevin? You're the money guy, right?
Mayor, give it to the mayor, Jason.
All right. Thank you so much for letting me come and share this with you.
Okay.
Need a shame here.
Guys ready? 1, 2, and 1, 2. Should work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Don. And, good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, this is a great place. I've loved every minute of it. And it's still a great place.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
Were you guys just discussing what we need to do? Do we need to put it?
Motion to accept.
Okay, that's it.
Donation.
yeah, that's
I'll make the motion to accept.
second.
All right. Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right. That has been accepted. Okay, moving on to item F, reports from council committees. F1, the Finance and Budget Committee did not meet on August 22nd, 2022 due to lack of agenda items. And F2, Safety and Human Resource Committee met on August 22nd, 2022. Dan?
Yeah, at that time, we prepared a recommendation to council to add Juneteenth and Veterans Day as holidays for the city starting in 2023.
Thank you. And item F3, the Technology Committee did not meet on September 6, 2022 due to lack of agenda items. We're trying to find Wheel of Fortune over here, so. Okay, item H, introductions of new ordinances and resolutions. We have none. Item I, second readings of ordinances and resolutions. I1 is ordinance number 047-22, an ordinance approving current June 22nd, or June 2022 replacement pages to the City of Napoleon codified ordinances.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, Joel?
Thank you, Council President. Nothing new to report, and requesting second read.
All right. Okay, any other questions or comments? Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, item I2, ordinance number 049-22, an ordinance amending threshold amounts related to competitive bidding, purchasing, contracting, and expenditures. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Joel?
Thank you again, Council President. This would move the bidding threshold from $25,000 to $50,000, which is what the current state minimum standard is, but by ordinance, it would stay at $50,000. So if the state ordinance would change, this wouldn't change with it. So it would stay at $50,000 for the time being.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments regarding this? Okay, hearing none, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, those both will move on to third reads. Item J, third readings of ordinances and resolutions. J1, ordinance number 046-22, an ordinance authorizing the Ohio Department of Transportation to perform necessary work within the city of Napoleon, Ohio regarding the resurfacing and bridge repair project on State Route 110.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Joel?
Thank you. Requesting third read. This would allow ODOT, and they require these pieces of legislation to do work inside of the city limits on State Route 110. Also, I want to say thank you, Mayor, for fixing the glitch on the screen. I didn't know what was going on, so it must have been a TV thing.
Do we get any luck with ODOT to continue the paving project farther in the town?
Yes, we did.
We received a verbal that they're willing to do it. However, they're waiting on forwarding us a contract and additional legislation, so they have the plans closer to done. Simply because of the fluctuating prices, they are going up, but it'll still be a cheaper version than if we did it on our own.
Right.
But they did verbally agree to repave up to Perry Street, as well as fix a couple sinkholes that are in the road and adjust the drainage structures in that section. So,
Okay.
as soon as that shows up, I'll get it on your agenda to draft legislation, and we'll get that going.
Thank you, Jen.
Yep.
When are they planning on starting this work?
Only thing we've been told so far is 2023.
Okay.
It sounds like we're gonna try to bid it this fall, but it's slated for next spring, summer.
And there's expense on our part. It's not like this is granted, it's just
Right.
an extension of their contract at a
It
cheaper.
just saves us the mobilization cost, right?
Yeah.
Save mobilization, and they will cover a percentage of the
Yeah.
cost, but it's not 100%. We'll probably still see a couple $100,000 in cost, but we'd probably see at least double that if we did it on our own.
Right.
So.
Any other questions or comments? Hey, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right, that has passed on third read. Item K, good of the city. We have item K1, discussion or action to accept the 2022 and 23 Drug Use Prevention Grant Program Award of $2,041.20 for the police department to be utilized by August 31st, 2023 by the DARE officer. Or Chief,
you
who
wanna-
wants this?
This is for the drug use prevention grant program.
The DUP grant can be used for salaries.
Thank you.
Primarily for their officers, reimbursement through the general fund. We bill hours, essentially submit a report, and we can get a grant up until a certain amount of money back from that to replace our salary costs.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments regarding this? Okay, need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right, that has been accepted. Item K2, discussion or action to recommend to council to add Juneteenth and Veterans Day as city holidays. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. This was an item that was assigned to the committee by the Council President Pro Tem to the committee chair, who wasn't here at the time, too. So let's just clear the air.
All right.
No, so we had a discussion about adding Juneteenth as a holiday to the city's list of holidays that we have now. Currently, we have 8. And we had discussed this in the committee, and I didn't bring it with me. Brittany knows it by heart by now. But we looked at a measurement of what other cities have in terms of the amount of holidays. The city of Napoleon has 8 holidays total, and other municipalities range between 10 and 12 on average, and some have more, like 14. That said, we also discussed what cities also currently observe Juneteenth as a holiday on Juneteenth. And we put together this list. Now, you might say, well, why are there, communities from Virginia and Pennsylvania and everywhere else? That's because I did take a poll at the AMP board meeting and was able to get a lot of this information there. And Brittany came up with a list of communities that, you know, locally who observes it or not. And as you can see, it's split, pretty much 50-50, and just the poll that we took. And you see there are a lot of communities on here that have adopted it just as of this year. Some were early adopters as of 2 years ago, but I believe like I'll you know, pick on Wadsworth, because I like picking on Wadsworth and, you know, Robert Patrick. So they haven't yet, but they're looking into it as well. So there's I mean, I see this as a trend of more and more starting to adopt it. But, you know, that was part of the discussion. And then the discussion, and jump in at any time, Councilman Bear. But we started talking about other holidays that aren't observed. We also talked about, you know, a floating holiday or adding another personal day, something like that. And, you know, the decision came down to, you know, I think it was Councilwoman Nepley that brought up, you know, if we observe a holiday, we really should observe it on the same day as the rest of the nation. And I think that was kind of, after going through this discussion, going through each point on its own, it was decided that it's important that the holidays, according to the committee, and jump in at any time if you want to say anything, but the committee said that it was important to observe the holidays on the day of, and that included Veterans Day, and that it's really not out of line to add these two as holidays because of the, you know, the schedule of what, you know, other municipalities. Now, we just looked at municipalities. When you look at counties and school systems, they're already observing these. So this is, I think the county has 14 holidays, or they're
Something like that, yeah.
12 or 14, somewhere in that range. Same with school systems, so they pretty much follow all of the federal holidays. I don't know if Columbus Day is one of the days they have off or not. Now, for schools, Juneteenth is not in session, so, and, you know, it's an easier one for them, but you still have some office staff and everything, but other than that, that was the consensus among the committee that voted unanimously to make this a recommendation to the rest of council.
And when we were looking at this, it was like, if we add 2 days, it's still 10. We're still under what most of the other cities in the area have. And we specifically were looking at, you know, not just Juneteenth, but there was a reason for Juneteenth being created. And then we thought the other day that would best fit would have been, as he said, Molly brought this up, Veterans Day, and those two seem to be the ones that would best fit the addition. So our recommendation to council was basically those 2 days.
I thought you had recommended the Veterans Day.
Well, Molly did more of the details, so I did recommend it one way, but Mrs. Nepley felt that we needed to honor the veterans too. And I do think that, my personal opinion is adding those 2 days was best for us. And as Joel said, there was a lot of discussion on whether we want them to be floating or vice versa. Does that sound right, sir?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we made this particular recommendation.
If council chooses to make any changes, it will require legislation.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions, comments?
So which of the 8 days we currently observe?
That would be New Year's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
I think you skipped
And-
Memorial Day, did you?
no,
You
and
did.
Christmas and Christmas Eve.
Which other ones are we not observing?
I mean, Juneteenth, Veterans Day, If you count federal holidays, it'd be President's Day, Columbus Day, Martin Luther King Day, and I think that's,
Columbus Day.
and Columbus Day, yep, I knew there was another one in there, yep.
Would this take effect in calendar year 2023 or take effect yet this year?
2023.
2023, because we already have passed Juneteenth. To be fair, we thought it would be best to.
Also, if you take a look, he said other communities were looking at adding Juneteenth that aren't currently, and if the average was roughly 12, they're kind of scooting up a little higher yet. So, and I think it's important that we have these 2 days recognized.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Okay, we need a motion to have the law director draft legislation, please.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right. Item K3, discussion or action, change order number 4 for the 2022 miscellaneous streets improvement project to Gherkin Asphalt Paving, an increase of $34,226.12.
Chad, do you want to take this?
As everyone's probably aware, we finished several of the streets on our list for paving this year. The contractor is coming back to finish the rest of those hopefully next week. We tallied the final numbers on Westmoreland. With some modifications and additions, we did have an increase in the cost. The increase was $34,226.12. I want to note that approximately $9,250 of that is actually going to be reimbursed to us by the county because they have a portion of that road. So the engineer's office offered to pay for that section. However, to keep everything tracked properly, I put it in the change order. And so the total amount is $34,226.12. Just asking for approval of that, and we can pay the contractor for the work done on Westmoreland.
I will note there was a side, there was an additional
There was some
piece
additional
too, that,
pavement done.
there was a section in front of the elementary school that was added, right, by one of the entrances or exits, however you want to term it, one of the drive approaches there, that was added in and striped. So we added it, striped it, see how the traffic pattern flows, and you know, go from there and monitor.
Thank you.
Hopefully we don't have to remove it again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad. All right, need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, moving on to item K4, discussion or action, change order number 4 for the wastewater treatment plant improvement project to Kirk Brothers Company, an increase of $187,500. Joel?
Thank you, Council President. I'll take this one, and if you want to add any flavor to it. So this is something that's been in the works for quite some time in the negotiation phase. We went back and forth with the contractor to figure out what exactly was left out of the bid and what was the added cost. $187,000, $500 seems like a lot, but you know, it's in the total project cost. We built in a 10% contingency, so we're still within 3% right now, I want to say, of our total 10% contingency for the project. So we're still within budget, but this is one of the bigger change orders. And if you're going to have a change order, not surprisingly, because of what's being built here and where it's being built. It's the new digester that's being added. And, you know, anytime you go deeper in this wastewater treatment plant, you're bound to run into something. A lot of this had to do with sheeting and shoring with protection of workers and everything that needed to take place to install this. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're still far under our budget, so our 10% contingency. I know we got a little ways to go yet on the project, but we're still doing really well. This was probably the deepest hole that we had to dig, and like I said, there's a lot of piping underground too. So this is definitely the most challenging piece of the project, I think. I think the press building rebuild that's done was a tough one, and building this new digester was one too. So these are two difficult tasks, and the rest is now we got a headworks building. That's another big one. Other than that, we're kind of shoring up some other what I would call more minor items, but you know, project is still moving on fairly well.
Thank you, Joel. Have any questions or comments regarding this?
Seems like a big number. Was that just missed in the original bid, or is that just something that we didn't anticipate?
It's
Without going too deep into the discussion, had the number submitted was much larger. After some discussion and negotiation, this was the agreed upon amount between both sides.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Marissa, please call the roll. Yep. Just seeing if you're paying attention. Nice job, you passed.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Marissa? Thank you.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes,
Dan?
Yes.
she passed. We can keep. All right, item K5, discussion or action recommendation from the Parks and Rec Board to set trick or treat for October 31st, 2022, from 6 PM till 7 PM, or 7:30 PM. Right.
nothing to add other than it's on a Monday, but it's a fifth Monday, so all of council gets to go
Oh, we
trick or
can
treat.
go. All right. Anybody have any questions, comments?
I was asked by a constituent if we've ever considered putting it on a Saturday night, because it's easier for families to do it on a Saturday night than it is on a Monday after school.
It's very difficult after school with little kids. I'll just attest to that one.
I had heard for years, the reason, even if it was October 31st was on a Friday or Saturday night,
We did it.
there's a lot more people with out maybe celebrating some football games and things like that, where there's a lot more traffic, drinking, driving possibly, and just not
I'm asking
as
the
safe.
question.
But yeah,
I know traditionally we've done it on the 31st.
Yep.
And the 31st is on a Sunday, that's kind of our day we do it. I just know that, I think last year we did it on a Saturday, almost, because I'm assuming that the calendar was, the 31st was on a Sunday.
I don't remember
It
what we
went
did.
really well compared to on a weeknight. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say anything bad about the Parks and Rec. I know they did a great job. I'm not trying to take a thing away from that board. I'm just asking the question.
I like that it's always on the 31st, then there's never confusion about when you're gonna.
That's fine too.
Yeah, it was on a Sunday, actually. It was
Yeah.
on a Sunday.
We trick or treated on a Sunday last year?
It was a Sunday, yeah. Because I remember Jeff Commodore, Councilman Commodore made a comment about it when he was still on. I can't remember what it
I
was,
don't
but
remember.
As a parent of 3 little ones, doing it on the exact day, I think is great, school night or not.
We'll see you a week later and see if you still have that same opinion, Ross.
I was gonna say, ask your wife. She feels the same way.
All right, so
You get it done.
Do we need a motion to accept the recommendation or a motion to a different day?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right, that has been approved. And we'll go around the table here. Start with Kevin.
I have nothing.
Okay, Lori?
I have the same.
Oh, all right, Ross?
In our packets this week, we had a short memo from our IT department, just letting us know about some work that they're doing, updating the servers for the new finance server. Police department is getting upgraded computers and cameras in its cruisers, and also another focus on their social media presence, which I think has been great so far. I think interaction and activity around that's been at an all-time high since I've been here, so happy to see that. Thanks IT department for the update. That's all I have.
Just have a question for Chad. The Oberhaus Park, or Oberhaus, that's not right, the sewer line behind my house.
Yes.
I know they're gonna come back and do some reseeding. Do you have any dates or any idea?
They haven't provided us with dates yet. They
Okay.
are coming back to town for another project, so we're working with them to get it all coordinated.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now, do we put, will letters go out, or will the residents know they're coming back out? I just know because I had asked you about it, but wasn't sure.
It was our understanding that they, through the course of the contractor speaking to individuals and us speaking to individuals, that everyone was aware we were coming, but we haven't put dates out yet.
Okay,
We've just communicated that it's going to be in the fall because it was a waste to try to seed in July and August.
Right.
We usually have better luck in the spring or fall.
okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
I have nothing else, Mr. Mayor.
Joel, when, a little while ago, there was a historic sign out front of the building here, and it got knocked down, or somehow there's just a post there. When we complete our path project, is that post gonna get, and that sign gonna get replaced?
Yes,
Okay.
it will. And it's, I know everybody's tired of hearing this. There's a supply chain issue.
What?
And it's taking longer to make it and get it here. So, yeah, it's, it's ordered. We're just waiting for arrival. We have the broken one still too. It's not that helps anything, but it's just, and I think the timing is actually pretty good, because once that's done, we can place it and somewhere, maybe that's not the right place for it. Maybe it's somewhere else in front of the city building that could, that gets good visibility. Walking path coming through there is gonna give it a lot more visibility.
Was that thank you, was that a groundbreaking this morning for the new Keller building? He's expecting it to be 150,000 square, start with 100,000. It's gonna look like the deck building that's in Defiance. 3 sides are gonna be concrete poured walls, and then the other part will be metal for opening up. But that ground should start to get moved, and hopefully foundation gets laid yet this year. So that was a big, big win for the county, a big, big win for the city, and a big, big win for Jennifer Arps. So it was a nice job all around on that one. Following that, the commissioners had Senator Rob McCulley in their office, and Senator McCulley was talking about Senate Bill 52, which takes a decision-making process for potential solar and wind farm out of Columbus and back to the local level. Basically, if you want to do that, you got to go through our trustees and then through the commissioners. If you want to put that in your jurisdiction, somebody just can't say, I'm going to build it here, and then you go down to Columbus and get the okay. There's a lot of pieces that go into that. But I thought Senator McCulley did a really good job with that piece of legislation, because I think it really reflects that if you want it, you can have it, and if you don't want it or they're proposing it, then you have a way to fight it. And the example they always use was the village of Sherwood in Defiance County. They were building infrastructure north of town for future growth, and then a solar company came in and wanted to take that potentially developable ground and turn it into a solar field. And the village like, look, we paid all these dollars, we invested all these dollars in infrastructure, and then basically you're gonna waste all those dollars. So that was what's going on in Defiance County. I think they got that one stopped, but one's going in around May. So I just thought it was really interesting that there's a process at the local level, the county level, the trustee level, township trustee level to help if you want that or not in your area. So I appreciate that. And then tomorrow is employee appreciation, right?
Yes.
Oberhaus Park, 11 to 1, 1:32, 1500, what time?
11 to 2.
1 to 2. 11 to 2.
11 to 2.
11 to 2, okay. If you can make it, pop in, awesome. That's what I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan,
Nothing, sir.
Dr. Dave,
Nothing to add.
Billy,
Nothing for me, thank you.
Joel.
Just that, in the groundbreaking, JT's Tables and Chairs donated the tent, the tables and the chairs
Nice.
for use. That was good. He did all the setup and broke them all down, and much appreciated. It was a great groundbreaking. That was amazing. Yep, employee appreciation luncheon and the historic marker is on order, so that's all for me.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Along the IT line, do we have any update on the cameras for the Kids Kingdom bathrooms?
Yes. Temporaries have been installed. They're not the best, they're not what we ordered, but, we got on the company because there's a supply chain issue, and we put this order in, I want to say it was over 6 months ago. It was at the beginning of the year, when the budget was passed, and so they said it was 9 to 12 months before we would actually get them. We're still waiting on the arrival, so we talked to the company and said, hey, look, we need to get these installed now, and they said they can get us some temporaries. So we put 2 temporaries up. They're hooked up, everything's ready to go, so all we got to do is swap out the temporaries and put the ones that we want up in there, so.
So they're working?
They're working.
Right now, and it's
Yeah.
helping?
Uh,
Hard to tell, but
let's hope
So
let's
far.
hope it works. Yeah.
Good.
It's-
thank you.
I guess I have a mulligan because I do want to request a executive session for compensation of personnel. So, could I have a motion to go into executive session for compensation of personnel?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 And could I have a motion to go into executive session for collective bargaining?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 We're gonna do the compensation of personnel first, so we'll come out and get you all in a few. All right, can I have a motion to come out of executive session regarding compensation of personnel?
So move.
Second.
All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, no action taken there. And can I have a motion to come out of executive session for collective bargaining?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, no action taken there. I guess I will entertain a motion for changes to the AFSCME contract to direct the law director to make legislation.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 All right, moving on to item M, approve payments of bills. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. And I have a motion for adjournment.
Make motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we are adjourned.